Hello? This is my wife's little .22 Magnum rifle. She's busted coyotes out at over 200 yards with it. It is a shooting machine, and my wife is a very excellent shot. My question to you, though, as I've had a number of people over the years and recently say they're going to take our guns. Now, I've done videos saying that I don't believe it's going to happen because it's too much of a cash cow for the government to regulate it and to make money from it, to confiscate firearms. But let's say it does happen. Let's say they take your guns. A number of people have said the first cop that walks up there and demands their guns are going to kill him. They're going to shoot the first cop. And I always come back at him and I said, you are going to be the very first person to kill a cop. You're going to be a cop killer. You think that your friends and neighbors are going to unite behind you after you've killed a cop just to keep your guns? You might want to think twice on that subject. You might want to think twice. And if you think the 2 million police officers, even some of them that might be a little pro-gun, when they hear of one of theirs getting killed, you think they aren't all coming at you? As many as it takes, and they'll kill you. And a buddy or two of yours if they come along with you. Now, I'm pro-gun as anybody, but I also use a little common sense. And I understand that most of the nations in this world have given up their guns. True, they're probably not as free as we are right now, but every day we're losing other freedoms, so sooner or later, I believe the guns could be taken, a worst-case scenario at the least. But what you might want to think about, those of you who are not going to shoot the first cop, that when the cop comes to your door, you're going to say, here's my guns. They're going to say, no, that ain't enough, because most people don't buy just one gun. They buy a bunch of guns through their life, maybe 10, maybe 20 guns. Most gun people do. And, of course, you've got them registered to you, but you might have given them to a friend, to a relative. You might have traded a gun here and there. And the downside of that is they're going to say, where are those guns? Where are those guns that you don't have in your possession anymore? And you can't get by with just saying, well, I traded it, or I did this, or I did that. They're going to want to know exactly where it went, exactly where it is. And if not, if they've come that far, they'll put you in a concentration camp or a jail of some kind until those guns show up. And if you think the Army or the law enforcement wouldn't do that, well, when World War II started, they put well over 100,000 Japanese in concentration camps here in the United States. Not one of those people had committed a criminal act or a terrorist act against the United States, but they all were put in a concentration camp, and if they'd have tried to escape, they would have been shot. They would have been shot. I would also remind you that I had a friend that got a divorce. He didn't want it, and they brought the papers for him to sign. He refused to sign them here in McCook. So they put him in jail for 3 days. He finally gave up and signed. But they said they'd keep him there forever. And they said the longest that they'd ever kept somebody down here in jail because they didn't sign a divorce paper was a year. And they said they'd have kept him forever, though, until they signed those papers. So if they're willing to do that for a divorce piece of paper having your name on it, you really think they wouldn't keep you in jail for an awfully long time if you can't say either give the said firearm back and or tell them where it is. Never forget, our government even made it at one time against the law and would put you in prison for owning gold. So they can be very hard-nosed in the past, and I'm betting they're going to be real hard-nosed in the future at some time. I want to keep you safe, so get all the regulations and figure out where all the guns that you purchased, where they are, for your own safety. For your own safety. Doesn't mean you have to give it, but at least it's there to get you out of jail or concentration camp, because you don't do us any good in there. And we're going to need you the day after the dollar dies. Rate this film.